my limited experience of bicycle touring, it's evident to me that you just have to have a flexible mindset. You are where you are. You'll get there if you do it correctly, and if you think ahead, you'll get there safely. And with all that said, I'm going to a contingency that today I'm riding a short distance to get on a train. I'm behind schedule, number one, but number two, there is a 3-4 day heat wave coming up, and I'm in pretty good shape, but not that good of shape. So I'll get on the train and ride down to Baltimore, and then it'll be this evening and tonight. I have all the lights to ride in the dark along a path to a friend's house near Annapolis. It is what it is, but again, I'm being flexible. I'd rather be riding my bike. I'm giving up a big chunk, but it's I think it's necessary. Second, a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but a couple people have asked what I bring and the things I carry. So I thought I'd take a moment and show you the equipment that I bring and how I can use it. So first we'll start off with the most important thing, and that's a bicycle. And what we have here, and every so often people will recognize it, it's a vintage Trek 520. It was their dedicated touring bicycle. That means that there's some heavy duty spokes, especially in the back, and it's an overbuilt frame. Oh, and real cycling enthusiasts will talk about geometry. And I've changed this bike's geometry so much, but it's a more of a comfortable ride. I got this back in, was it 2020? It was right after the pandemic, with the intention that it would be something that would serve me well for years and carry me on long rides. Immediately made some choices with this vintage bicycle. All the drivetrain's the same. I swapped out the pedals. I don't clip in for bicycle touring. I have clipped in before. Anymore, just with getting on and off the bicycle, I just ride flats. So I swapped out, I used to have clip-in pedals and I swapped it out for flats. I added a Brooks B17 leather saddle. Love it. I'm one of the big fans of it. And these fancy riser drop bars that give me a little bit of an extra lift and let me sit a little bit more upright. Look, it's old school. I got bar end shifters on there. Yeah, I go low tech. Oh, and also just rim brakes. Another big choice I made is if you look at those tires, it made a couple stop me. Said, your tires are too big. They are pretty big. They're 35s? Yeah, they're 35 millimeter tires, so they're pretty beefy. And I made a choice to get the biggest tire I could get and forego fenders. I was going to get fenders for it, but I thought bigger tires would serve me better in the end, and I don't regret that choice. Not only that, I also got the tire that a lot of bicycle tourists swear by. It's the Schwable Marathon Plus. And I gotta say, I've gone through this entire trip, not a single puncture. Yeah, and even last year, with when I went from Pittsburgh to Manchester, New Hampshire, not a single puncture with these tires. They may be slow, but yeah, I'm not at the side of the road fixing punctures. Oh, and if you get a gander at these old cycle turn bags, the old Cannondale logo. I got those off of a Facebook marketplace. I went to buy a bike and saw these sitting in the corner of a shed and made a bundle deal. Yeah, they're from the early 80s. I use them because they still work. You could get waterproof, you could get better. This I had to do some repair. This piece of plastic here broke and I repaired it, but I'm gonna use those till they completely wear out. Tent, I go with a basic 2-man tent. Last year it was a bivy tent. No regrets going up to a 2-man tent. It's a cheap Amazon tent. It's called Nature Hike. It served me just fine. It's gone through a couple storms and haven't gotten wet. Though a lot of people swear by the more expensive brands, and I imagine that they do just fine in those as well. So into the panniers, I have my personal wash kit in the orange. That blue is my towel. I take a travel towel for where I stay at campgrounds. I will sponsor this one by showing the logo Thermarest. That's my air mattress. I do not regret spending the money on a nicer, wider, but bigger, bulkier, and heavier air mattress. I sleep just fine no matter where I'm at. That's pretty important. Into this orange dry bag is a basic, simple 50-degree mummy bag, a fleece pullover, and my inflatable pillow. I find that just the 50-degree, and it's a synthetic bag, nothing fancy. It works just fine. And this blue bag is my food bag. I got all kinds of nuts, apricots, tins of sardine. I think I have 1 tin of sardines in there, and some granola. Yeah, so you got to eat constantly. If I fail to eat every hour or two, you really can see your performance drop. So I always am eating. I usually have something in my pocket to snack on. All right, I bring my Kindle. What a great thing. And there is my clothes bag. Now clothes. Clothes are an interesting topic when you're doing these long distances. Now, I don't wear the Lycra. And it's a personal preference. There's so many people say you have to do this, you have to clip in, and all. It just works for you. So what works for me is I wear baggy mountain biking shorts. I have worn the Lycra bibs before, and those work fine. But what I find is that when I'm getting on and off the bike all day, especially if I'm in a place where I want to go into like a little museum or something, it just feels more comfortable to me to be in these shorts. A word on it, last year I went with just cheap shorts that I found on Amazon. This year I went with a more expensive variety, and I will say that this year my saddle sores aren't nearly as bad, right? I think it's worth it to spend to get nicer shorts. So into the clothes bag. Yep, this is what you got to do. I used to go 1 to wash, 1 to wear, 1 to spare. This is like an old trick I learned in Boy Scouts. But for this trip, I really wanted to save weight, so I go, yep, 1 to wear, 1 to wash. And I do laundry along the way, where and when I can. I prefer to go with, as y'all can see, long sleeves. That way I'm not having to put on sunscreen and reapply sunscreen. I just simply roll down my sleeves and button up. I could pop up the collar. And I prefer shirts that snap because I can do them and undo them with 1 hand on the bicycle. So I take 2 long sleeve shirts, 1 wool t-shirt. Look it up, wool t-shirts. I swear by them. Mine's over there getting a little bit of sun and drying out. They don't stink and they are really comfortable. On the table you see here, I bring the most simplest of cook kits. Just made myself a cup of coffee. It's getting cold, but that's okay. I'll still drink it. All right, and that's what it looks like when it's all loaded up. Yeah. It's interesting going down the road, especially as I was crossing the city. Yeah, you could just look at the thing and say, damn, that's a bicycle that's loaded down. And A lot of people stop to ask, and this makes for good conversation when you say in the middle of the city, well, I'm riding back home to West Virginia. Just real quick, a couple other things that I forgot to mention that I think are pretty handy. I'll just rattle them off. Down there you see that water bottle below my frame. That is my spare inner tube and a tool kit. Yeah, you really can't keep water down there, but it was convenient to put it into a bottle and put the cage down there. I also carry a life straw. It's a water filter. It's the simplest thing to use. You just use it like a straw because, well, there's been a couple times this trip where I've had to get water from a stream in New Hampshire, but certainly along the C&O Canal Towpath trail that I'll be doing. Yeah, they have water pumps along the way, but you need to treat the water. Lots of color. I just wear an emergency vest when I'm out on the road. Has the reflective tape and the high vis yellow. People need to be able to see you. I do have a bike helmet and my floppy hat there. I'll interchange them. Usually I'll just wear the helmet on the road in case I do take a tumble. Helmets really, I mean, can they help you if you get hit by, say, like a Suburban or an Escalade? I'll leave that up to the scientists to debate. Reason tells me probably not, but it does help in case you have a spill. Then on rail trails and calmer roads, I'll just wear my floppy sun hat. So I go back and forth all along the way. So there's, and finally, navigation. I do navigate with phone. You see I have my phone holder there. You often see me video with that phone. And there you see the complete kit all loaded up, and the bike is sitting on a train platform in Trenton, New Jersey. I took that train down to the BWI stop outside of Baltimore, then to my friend's house in Annapolis, or near Annapolis, where I waited out the heat wave. All things considered, I go, and I quite enjoy going low tech, budget, vintage. It gets me down the road. All right, the heat wave is over. Next big leg of the trip is the C&O Towpath up over the Eastern Continental Divide and to the Gap.